I apologize now for the visual imagery, but what do you do if you are paralyzed and you got to go number 2? Yeah, it's going to be one of those weird video days. Hi, I'm Rick Higgins, and this is the vlog of Opinions Over 50. And today, the vlog is brought to you, well, by the letter C and by me. Let's be really specific. I wrote a book. I wrote another book. This one is called Be the Rubber Tree, Tales of Resiliency and Struggle. Now, I've done recently another video on this, and it'll scroll across the top here in a second, in case you want to see it. But in that one, I was discussing 2 of the 4 C's. And the 4 C's, by the way, are coping, confidence, character, and connection. We're going to cover the other 2 today. I also want to tell you a couple of funny stories. And yeah, it has to do with being paralyzed. Let's just start there. I've been paralyzed, full body paralysis, twice. It's autoimmune disease called Guillain-Barré syndrome. Very, very rare. Only 6 to 40 people out of a million will ever contract it. I've had it twice. Basically, your body attacks itself and eats all the sheathing off your nerve cells. It's progressive. It takes about a day before you have trouble walking to you can't walk, you can't move your arms. You have some range of motion, and the closer you get to your core, but at the end, forget it. Anyway, read the book. There's a lot of interesting, horrifying things about it. But it taught me resiliency, or at least it helped to bring out some resiliency that I may or may not have had. I do want to tell you a couple of semi-funny stories. The first one not so funny, but I'm actually kind of proud of it. I have a medical procedure named after me. It's called the Higgins maneuver. Now, how do you take a poop if you're paralyzed? Well, if you're in bed, they just bring you the bedpan piece of cake. But every day, they would put me into a wheelchair. And if I had to go to the bathroom, then it required 3 nurses. I'm a big guy. I am 6'2", 230 pounds. So they would wheel me into the bathroom. 2 of them would have to pick me up. The other one would have to disrobe me. And there was a lot of contortion. They get me on the toilet, wait, clean, reverse. I figured out a way. It only takes 1 nurse. The maneuver is actually, they would wheel me up chair to chair. So, toilet, chair. The nurse would have sort of disrobed me, and she would help me butt walk from my chair onto the toilet, facing the wrong direction. And now she could kind of leave me. I can just sort of do my thing. She could come back, wipe me. I wouldn't actually have to watch it, so my pride was saved. I wouldn't have to, anyway. And then you just reverse it. And it was such a big hit with the nursing staff that they actually started doing this with other patients, and they call it the Higgins maneuver. Now, is that resiliency? I don't know, maybe a little bit. What else I had to do? I was just sort of sitting around. I had to come up with engineering things. But the other 2 C's, as far as resiliency, that I want to talk to you about, one is character, and one is connections. Now, as we get older, and this, by the way, happened to me, geez, how old was I? I was in my 30s, and then it happened again in my 40s. But I think as we get older, we have more opportunities that we're gonna need resiliency for. And maybe some of what I'm talking about we can build upon, you can build upon in your own life. Now, character, not much you can do about character. Either you kind of have it or you can build on it. That was a little strange part of the research when I did it. I'm not even sure why I'm talking about it, but connections are very important. Now, connections could be friends, it could be family. It's just basically people. Now, I have to explain how I used connections in regards to my Guillain-Barré, my paralysis. I decided early on that I was not going to be difficult for the nursing staff, for the doctors, for anybody else. I decided that I was going to be tough, I was going to be strong, I was going to be happy, I was going to be friendly. And I did, because the alternative was to just wallow and be miserable and make life harder for other people. I used connections. I used other people's physical presence. And it was a feedback loop. If I could be nice to them, kind to them, helpful to them, friendly to them, they would do that back to me, and it just continued. Now, what I noticed was there were times like 4:30 in the morning when there were nobody around, when it was nice and quiet. When I didn't have that feedback, when I didn't have the connection, life was hard. That was when I started crying. That was when I started feeling horrible for myself. And by the way, if you've never laid there and cried and not even have the ability to wipe away your own tears, it's also a self-fulfilling mechanism, only in reverse. And it wasn't until the morning when the nurses and everyone started coming back on shift and the hospital started moving that I got that connection again. So when you need resiliency, when you need to work on resiliency or something bad happens, don't discount people. Don't discount just the simple human connection of other folks. Because if you can provide something out, it will come back to you 10 times better. Now, I will wrap it up sort of with one other really funny story. And this one I could never really live down. I was married for the second time. My then wife, they brought me home from the hospital in a wheelchair. Now, bear in mind, I can't walk. I can barely move. I think I can get my shoulders and my hips going at this point, but that's about it. So they take me back, they put me in this bed on the main floor, and I wanted a shower. That's all I could think about was I want a shower, because I hadn't showered in 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks in the hospital. And so the phone rang, and my then wife, she went to answer the phone, and I'm like, oh, screw this. I'm getting a shower. And she had already taken my clothes off in preparation for this. So I'm laying there naked on the bed, and I just sort of log rolled over onto the floor, big thump. And now I'm kind of doing this combination log roll, army kind of crawl, butt up in the air. I'm heading to the next room, the next master bedroom where the shower is, because I'm getting in the damn shower. Well, the phone call ended. My then wife comes back into the room, and I'm not there. She said it was like you walk away and all of a sudden you come back and you look in the crib and your baby's not there, and you look everywhere. She looked under the bed, she looked in the closet, she looked everywhere. Her husband's not there. And then she heard a noise behind her, and it was me. I had managed to cross the hallway and get into the other room. And she said she turned around and looked over, and all she could see is this white hairy ass stuck up in the air, buck ass naked, going about a half a mile an hour trying to get to the shower. And I guess she debated on whether taking a photo or actually coming to help me. Fortunately, she came to help me and I got my shower. But I don't know what C that is, but I just know that when I was struggling with the paralysis, that there were a lot of things that I just pushed myself, that sometimes you just kind of have to do what needs to be done. For me, that was helping the nurses to help me. That was getting feedback from them. I got resilience by just forcing myself, and read the book. There's a whole lot of how I use my self-therapy in sort of a good, not bad way. But basically, if you have to be resilient, practice it before you start. Use people, push yourself harder than you think you can, because you really can. So that's what we got for this last vlog video of the week, talking about resilience. The book is at rickhiggins.com/books. You'll find both of my books there. They are both free, absolutely completely free. Read them, enjoy them, leave comments, do whatever you want with them. You can also buy them on Amazon. There's links on that page too if you feel like getting a paperback or a Kindle, or just keep watching. I'm sure I'll do a few more videos of it. If you need resiliency, I will tell you now, read the book, because a lot of the research I did, a lot of the self-therapy, and by the way, a lot of this then bleeds into my today. The more you practice, the more you know, the better you can be prepared for when things happen. So with that, I hope that you are safe. I hope that you are healthy. I'm going to tell you, like I do at the end of every single damn video, wear your damn mask, and well, we'll see you next week.